So, just when I thought that this Ashlee Jenae story couldn't get any messier, we get hit with even more shocking revelations.
We found out that our daughter had passed from the hotel. The fiance did not reach out to us at all.
First, Joe McCann's ex-wife is saying he's an aggressive, broke man. 2, there's no surveillance footage that has been released by the luxury hotel. 3, the family is having a GoFund Me because millionaire Joe is not lifting a finger and Ashlee had no money saved. 4, Joe only called the family to tell them about the incident after 11 hours. 5, Ashlee allegedly asked for a phone charger before she was found unconscious in her room. Baby, I hope y'all are seated because it's a lot that has been happening. Now, we already know that Ashlee and her fiancé got into a heated argument before she died, to the point where they had to get separated into different rooms. Well, we could finally know the reason why they argued. And rumor has it that it has a lot to do with how Joe was an aggressive man, and an ex-wife is allegedly confirming this. But while this suggests his aggressive nature was the cause, was the argument triggered by something specific that happened that night in Tanzania? Or was it a buildup of issues throughout the trip? If you ask me, I'm sure the staff heard exactly what the argument was about and should be questioned. Anyway, with people digging deeper into the case, there have been revelations that Joe was in fact married. I'm not sure about him being divorced, but as you can see in multiple posts from 2021 to 2024, Joe was talking about his wife and his 2 very young kids. And in one of the posts, he even pulled the "My wife is black" card in an argument on X. And by the way, there are a couple of photos of the woman I believe is the ex-wife on Joe's social media and multiple posts tagging her. Again, there have been claims that he's divorced, and I'm not sure how true that is, but the wife or ex-wife has allegedly been giving her POV. Side note, I have also seen several reports that he had been married twice, but I could not confirm this. First of all, allegedly according to this woman, Joe is broke, and this could actually explain some things that don't make sense, like the GoFund Me by Ashlee's family. I mean, Joe McCann is the founder and CEO of Asymmetric Financial, a major player in the crypto and tech space, backed by heavyweights like Mark Andreessen. I understand that he suffered up to 80% loss last year, but he could afford that luxurious trip to Zanzibar, meaning he has the means to cover the costs of bringing Ashlee home, right? Yet Ashlee's father, Harry Robinson, had to launch a GoFundMe with a $50,000 goal to cover the high cost of flying her body back from Tanzania to the US. The cost is also supposed to cover the travel expenses because the family is traveling to Tanzania themselves because they don't trust the narrative being provided and want to seek answers firsthand. And they also need money to plan the funeral. Honestly, why isn't Joe helping? Also, people are calling out, if Ashlee had a successful business, where is all her money? Did someone steal it? Or was there never any money in the first place? Okay, I get that if Joe is innocent, some might argue he is following legal advice to stay silent and not involve himself in the family's affairs while an international investigation is active. However, in the court of public opinion, and for Ashlee's grieving parents, the fact that a millionaire fiancé is letting a grieving father crowdfund to bring his daughter's body home is seen as a major red flag. Unless he's actually super broke himself, because after a bit of digging, people found out that Ashlee Jenae supposedly paid for the trip to Tanzania because her name was the one on the hotel room. See, in many high-end international resorts, the person who pays is the primary guest on the folio, and if Ashlee's name was the one on the booking for a $1,000 a night villa at Zuri, Zanzibar, it suggests she was either the one who fronted the cash or the one with the verified credit line to hold the room. Basically, if Joe was financially dependent on Ashlee or using her platform to justify his own image of success, it provides a potential financial motive that didn't exist when everyone thought he was a millionaire. I know it's easy to assume that Ashlee was the one profiting from Joe financially, but I promise you, honey, you will be surprised at how many black women are the ones actually funding white men out here. And you know what? Rumor has it that Joe's ex-wife has been privately or subtly confirming that Joe's wealth is largely smoke and mirrors. Allegedly, she has revealed that Joe has a history of financial gymnastics, living off credit, investor capital, or the income of the women he's with, while presenting a millionaire persona. Plus, let's not forget that there's the entire policy angle. Now, we know that Joe suffered a massive loss in crypto of up to 80%, and a massive life insurance payout would be a quick way to get liquid cash. So, the assumption is that Joe's plan was to take out a policy on Ashlee, propose in a high-visibility way to prove the relationship was perfect, and then have a tragedy occur in a foreign country with different legal standards. That is like the perfect plot. and people think that he thought that committing this crime in Tanzania would not attract this much attention. However, what many people don't know is that insurance companies don't give out money if a person offs themselves. But here's where it gets even more confusing. Based on reports, while they were in Zanzibar, a hotel attendant was making their rounds for inspections, and they found Ashlee looking for a phone charger, and Ashlee asked them for one. Allegedly, she asked the attendant to return in 15 minutes, and I don't know if that's how long the attendant took to return, but when the hotel worker eventually went back to her room, the door was locked and the lights were off. Apparently, using a spare key, the attendant opened the door, and at that moment, Ashlee dropped from where she was suspended. The attendant said when Ashlee was untied from the nook that she was breathing, though unconscious. She was then rushed to a hospital where she passed away. Why was Ashlee specifically looking for a phone charger right before the incident? Was she trying to make an urgent call or record something? And was that phone ever recovered and analyzed? Where exactly was Joe during that window after they were separated? Has his location been verified by CCTV or other witnesses to ensure he didn't go to Ashlee's room? Also, the attendant using a spare key is strange to me. Even if a guest did say to return with a charger, wouldn't they just return the next morning if the door was locked? Or is it that Ashlee had signaled the attendant earlier in a manner likely to suggest that she wasn't safe? Personally, what's really bugging me is that there has been no security footage that has been provided to show if anyone went in and out of Ashlee's room. I mean, Ashlee's father, Harry Robinson, has been very vocal about this CCTV footage issue, saying, "There's cameras everywhere at a resort. Just do the investigation and let us know." The fact that the family is still calling for a review of the video suggests that the footage hasn't been shown to them, or it's inconclusive. Here's the thing. In a luxury resort like Zanzibar, where villas can cost upwards of $1,000 a night, you would expect top-tier security. And I get that luxury resorts and places like this often design their layouts to feel like a secluded paradise. Yes, the resort is made up of individual bungalows and villas, and to maintain guest privacy, cameras are almost never placed inside the rooms, or even directly facing the private entrances of the villas. However, even if there aren't cameras in the rooms, there should be footage of the pathways, and there should be footage of who approached the room. Honestly, it's beginning to look like there was footage, but someone paid to have it go away. And trust me, it doesn't take a lot to bribe people in Zanzibar. People are even saying that maybe Joe bribed the authorities as well, because investigators in Tanzania said during a news conference that they are questioning him and holding his passport until autopsy results are complete. But they have stated that no criminal charges are being pursued, and the matter remains under review as part of an ongoing investigation, and Joe has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing. And why is the autopsy taking so long anyway? By the way, before I forget, the family said they first learned something was wrong when Joe McCann called to say Ashlee was in the hospital, but details were limited. The mom said she asked him when it happened and where it happened, and he told her that something had occurred 11 hours prior to when he was reaching out to her. They said communication then stopped, and the next update came from the hotel, which informed them their daughter had died. This is literally one of the things that bothers a lot of people. Why did he wait 11 hours to make the first call? Was he covering up something? Paying off people? For me, as soon as I saw claims that the ex-wife was talking about him being aggressive and broke, I knew there's more here. And I've even seen other claims that there may be a third woman who is saying the same thing. Honestly, it's crazy at this point, but I'd love to know your POV. Why was Ashlee's name allegedly the one on the hotel reservation for this luxury trip? If Joe's ex-wife is truly confirming past aggression and financial instability, has this been reported to Tanzanian investigators? What happened during the 11-hour delay between her being found and Joe contacting her family? Will an independent autopsy reveal whether her injuries were actually consistent with the official ruling? And where the hell is the CCTV footage? Guys, just let me know what you think in the comments section below.